I'm going to quickly show you some statistics here on Chiesa, who Liverpool have just signed. This is him versus all the other attackers in Serie A stats per 90. First, for successful attacking actions, meaning he's got quite a good success rate when he puts in a cross, when he puts in a shot, when he dribbles past the player. He makes things happen in attack. First, into crosses into the goalkeeper's box. He creates chances, he makes things happen. Nunes is quite good at heading. Second, for expected assists, it shows he creates. Second, for dribbles, it shows he's a player that is direct, not afraid to take people on and dribble at them. He's got a little bit of similar ability dribble-wise to Luis Diaz. Second, for offensive duels won. Second, for progressive runs, and that's just showing he's rapid and able to cover large distances, and considering that Arne Slot demands a lot of his wingers, very suited to Arne Slot ball. He's rapid, he's quick, but also he can carry the ball. Second, for shot assists. Third, for crosses. Fourth, for key passes, showing his creativity. 4 for accurate passes into the final third. 4 for passes into the penalty area. Again, showing that he's a creative player. He's going to give Jota and Nunes service. 5th for acceleration, showing that he's quick. He can help in transitions. He can help in counter-attack. Liverpool scored a great transition goal through Jota and Diaz versus Brentford. 5th in deep completions. 5th in through passes. 7th in crossing accuracy. And 8th in accurate forward passes. You go and then compare him to not just Serie A, but Europe's top 5 leagues. Second for crosses into goalkeeping box. Third for successful attacking actions. 4th for shot assists. 5th for passes into the penalty area. 6th for crosses. 7th for expected assists. 7th for dribbles. 7th for progressive runs, which is really key to what Arne Slot wants. And we're going to get into more detail about Chiesa and how he fits into Arne Slot ball in a second. And 8th for key passes. And all for 13 million euros. What a bargain that is for Liverpool. If you haven't seen, Fabrizio Romano's dropped the Chiesa to Liverpool. Here we go, €30 million deal. And I'm going to break down why this is a bargain and why this is a bit of genius from Liverpool, because he's not just going to be a Salah backup. He can play centre forward, he can play left wing, he can play across the front three. And when you look at €13 million, that's £11 billion. That's nothing to lose. Amari Kellyman costs more than that for Chelsea. Will he ever play for Chelsea? Who knows? That's less than half the price of Oliver Skipp. Less than half the price of Oliver Skipp. I mean, that's absolutely a crazy fee, especially when you see the prices of other players in the market. Elliot Anderson went for €41 million. This guy's €13 million. I mean, that's absolutely mad. Diaby's gone to Saudi for €60 million. Pedro Neto's a great player, €60 million. Desiree Doué, €50 million. You know, Dominic Solanke, €65 million. Julian Alvarez, €75 million. Now, obviously, some of those players named are better than Chiesa, but €13 million is an absolute bargain from Liverpool. The player said he's very happy. He can't wait to be a Liverpool player. Blah-de-da. He's interested in Liverpool. Despite Barcelona being there, he wants the Liverpool move. And this puts Liverpool in a good option attacking depth-wise. You've got Chiesa and Salah for the right, Diaz and Gakpo for the left, Jota and Nunes for the middle. But players like Chiesa and Gakpo can just play anywhere across the front line. Jota could even, to be honest, as well. And Nunes could even play out wide. There's a lot of versatility there. But I've always said this. If you watch Slot Feyenoord, he subs his wingers a lot because he demands so much of his wingers in terms of tracking back, progressive runs, pressing, that you need a player that is fast, that is good at carrying the ball, that's a good presser. And I think that's one of the reasons Diaz has been very good the last 2 games under Slot, because Diaz suits Slot ball to a T. And I think that, you know, Chiesa is probably the closest to Diaz if you was going to compare him to any Liverpool player profile-wise. And I think he really does suit what Slot ball wants. And I'm going to talk about why he's really good for Slot ball in a second. But attacking depth-wise, €30 million, Anthony Gordon you probably weren't going to get. I mean, Anthony Gordon's a better player than Chiesa, but when you look at the price and you look at the Liverpool have already got a pretty good attack and they probably want to focus their funds on DM and centre-back, very smart, because if they do sign a big DM and centre-back and they just spend a few funds on the attacker, very smart business from Liverpool. So he will be in Liverpool today for his medical. But as Doogie said, which inspired me to say this earlier, Chiesa moving for just under £11 million is a third of the price of Elliot Anderson. That's been a weird window. Less than half the price of Oliver Skipp. Absolutely mad. So let's talk about Chiesa, why this is a good signing for Liverpool, why Liverpool have signed him, what his role will be, and how he suits Slot ball. So first of all, I thought I'd show you his statistics here. A right winger, 33 goals, 14 assists. I think he's only started about 60 of those games as well. So it's very good statistics per 90. As you can see here, can play left wing, can play right wing, can play second striker, can play centre forward. Like, he doesn't have a predominant position, but I think right wing is his preferred position based off where he's played. But he still plays 69 games as a second striker. He could be a 10 in Slot system for all you know. But I think he'll probably be on the right wing, because Liverpool have got really good advanced options in midfield. I think the question mark's over DM. Although Gravenberch has been doing a very Good job there. Here is F-Breast statistics, 99th percentile of the shot creating action. So it just shows you there's a creative player that makes things happen. I'm going to dive into more detail about that in a second. 97th percentile for progressive carries, 92nd percentile for progressive passes recorded. Basically, what that means is Slot likes his wingers to drop deep and build up and carry the ball. That's what you get with Chiesa. Chiesa is able to come back deep when you're taking a goal kick, collect the ball, and he can play a pass, or he can literally just run and dribble the ball all the way up the wing and help Liverpool get up the pitch. What you've got, you get two types of wingers in the world. I'm going to explain this. You get Cole Palmer, Deki Kulusevski, those type of wingers that best, even Elise to an extent, that almost operate best in the half spaces, that are pass-first wingers and don't necessarily rely on pace and dribbling. And they can often play as a 10, aka Cole Palmer's now playing as a 10 under Maresca, but was a right wing under, obviously, Poch. Kulu has struggled on the wing under Ange, but looks good centrally under Ange because Ange wants progressive wingers. Kulu isn't a progressive winger. You've got pass-first wingers, Kulusevski, Palmer, Elise. And then you've got the type of wingers that are carry-first wingers. Your Alejandro Garnachos, your Pedro Netos, your Luis Diaz. Slot likes a mix of both, but definitely prefers carry-first wingers, a bit like Ange Postecoglou, a little bit like Ten Hag. Players that have speed, pace, can beat a man 1v1 and dribble. Someone that can get the ball deep and dribble. And that's what you got in Chiesa. His work rate, his pressing, his dribbling, his ability to dart up the line or even get down the byline with his pace, or even when he's off the ball, you saw Diaz and Shota transition, he can make a massive run and outpace fullbacks if you kick the ball up. And that's what Slot wants. You look at his progressive carries, 97th percentile. You look at his progressive statistics, it's unreal. But also, he's got action. Sometimes, his decision-making could be better. I'll say that for a fact. But you can see his winger actions here, makes very good actions in the final third for the most part. His penetrating carries just show how much of a deadly carrier he is. He can just get the ball and literally dribble in the box and make things happen. Very good at carrying the ball into the penalty area. Very good at dribbling in tight spaces. So let's talk about Chiesa, type of player he is, and why he is going to be a very good addition for Liverpool. So first of all, pure speed. Exceptional pace, brilliant 1v1 dribbler, that's what Slot wants. Slot wants his wingers to put in defensive shift, get back, help the fullback. Slot wants his wingers to press, but Slot wants his wingers to be fast because he likes to have one of his wingers out wide, and that suits Chiesa to a T if he's going to play on the wing under Slot. Ball progression, able to carry the ball and progress over large distances is a good attribute. He's also two-footed, which means he can go inside and outside. It means he can play on either wing. It means he's comfortable receiving the ball at all angles, making him technically better and good in tight spaces, and also means he's harder to predict. Look, I support Man United. Every time Anthony gets the ball, I know exactly what Anthony's going to do because he's got 1 foot and it's cut in and shoot and normally miss. With Chiesa, he's unpredictable. He's very good at manipulating the defender, also being able to create separation from himself, a bit like Salah, which I think Salah's very good at, and is difficult to predict. And work rate, strong work ethic, on and off the ball, ideal for Slot's tactical demands. Luis Diaz was man of the match, hands down, versus Brentford. Even if he didn't get the goal and assist because of his work rate, his ball recoveries, his carries, his defensive contributions, making things happen. And I'd say compared to all the Liverpool wingers, Chiesa is most similar to Luis Diaz, who has been inconsistent at Liverpool, and Chiesa's been inconsistent in his career. But I would say he's your right-wing version of Luis Diaz if I was going to describe him. He could be inconsistent. He may have a few flaws in terms of stuff, and he had that big injury. But there's a good player there. And for 13 million euros, if that might give you the funds to go all big on your midfield and all big on your defence. While it's been a slow transfer window for Liverpool, if you go out and sign, Lukabar or Schlotterbeck in defence and Varela or Stiller at DM, that's a very good window from you, considering that you look unbelievable already without any new signings, which I hate to say. You also look at his tactical fit under Slot, and I quickly touched upon this earlier, but Slot wants someone, he likes people that are good and build up, comfortable on the ball. And that's why he doesn't want Endo, because he's not naturally comfortable on the ball. Endo does what you want in DM. Off the ball, defensive awareness is good, but on the ball, he's not comfortable receiving it with his back to goal and progressing play, which is why Gravenberch has been playing as a sixth, because Gravenberch is one of the technically best players you ever see. Ajax Academy boy, of course, he can be technically good, but Gravenberch can receive the ball anywhere at all angles and turn away from the player. You've seen it as him playing as a six and progress the ball. And, build-up's very important for Slot. And obviously, Chiesa isn't going to be playing as number 6, but he likes his wingers to be able to receive the ball off the defence. So ball could go out to Trent can play up to Chiesa can run with it. He likes players that are more than happy to drop deep and progress the ball from build-up. He likes pace, he likes power, and you've got that. And he's also quite an intelligent player, Chiesa. I know he's dropped off since his injury and he never lived up to the potential, but he has been good. He was quite good for Juventus last year, despite them wanting to sell him. And he's quite intelligent. He's not someone that's just going to dribble the ball up the pitch. He can do those quick 1-2s. I think he could link really well with Jota, or Nunes. They could do that quick 1-2. He plays it into Nunes. He runs up the pitch. Nunes plays it up to him. He gets up the ball, and then he crosses it into Nunes. He's very capable of that. If you look at his offensive output, he's a goal threat. He's a consistent goal scorer capable of creating something out of nothing. I think he got 10 or 12 goals last season in 2,400 minutes. So I think he averaged a goal contribution like every 100 minutes last season, 112 minutes last season. I think he averaged a goal every other game, so it's not bad. Top crossing, I think he's similar to Pedro Neto in the sense of he can get down the byline. Not just crossing, but he can get the ball, get down the byline, make those deadly runs, which really causes problems. I think that's what Ange wants from his wingers, and you see that cause problems when Tottenham do it to other teams. I remember Tottenham did it against United, and we just could not handle it. And Chiesa's a player that could do that, and Slot quite likes that. Counter-attacking threat, obviously, as I mentioned, scored a brilliant counter-attacking goal through Diaz and Jota. You did, and Chiesa's capable of doing that. I think Gakpo's a good player, and I think that he just doesn't have the pace level of maybe Chiesa on the counter. But Gakpo is a very good player, and I think what Liverpool have now is so many different profiles of wingers. You've got Gakpo, who's more of an inside forward. You've got Diaz that can be a touchline winger. You've got Jota that can play on the wing but can play centrally. You've got Nunes that's a box man but also lethal in transition with the ball in front of him. You've got Salah that's just Salah. Salah's just Salah. You've got so many different profiles of attacker that to bring Chiesa in there that can play all across the front three for just £11 million, which gives you the budget to spend elsewhere, I think is a bit of genius from Liverpool. His off the ball runs are very good. He's very good in the final third at enhancing the threat. Diaz could have the ball and he could run off Diaz, and Diaz can play the ball into him. But he also contributes defensively. He contributes defensively to the press. He supports the fullback. He's got a good work rate. He can play across the front line. I think he's a very good signing. And if we talk about his role under Slot, demands a lot from his wingers. He subbed them off regularly at Feyenoord. He wants another winger. Slot wants that. Do I think Liverpool need a left back hybrid type player like Calafiore, like a Schlotterbeck or a Lukuba and a DM more than a winger? Yes. But you spent 13 million on the winger. You've got the funds for the left centre back hybrid type player and the DM. Is the right wing sort of version of Diaz to an extent, not completely. Progressive work rate which Slot wants, and the price makes it a no-brainer. So the only question is, one, decision-making, consistency, and a lot of that consistency is due to injuries. Last season, he missed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. 9 games isn't the end of the world. The season before, he missed 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games the season before. He does miss a few games due to fitness issues, but he is sort of getting better and getting a fair few minutes in. Liverpool fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.